Hello, this is Lizzie from LZSY for you and introducing you to my other half, Luke from J Retro. We are trying out something new this week and hopefully we'll continue doing it. Since we go to the movies a lot and really love all our films, we thought we'd actually talk about some of the movies that we go to see. So we're going to be calling it Luke and Lizzie Go to the Cinema, or maybe Luke and Lizzie Go to the Movies. Haven't quite identified it yet, but that's going to be the name of the segment. And for our first one, we thought we'd start off with the awful, or in another opinion,
kind of okay, mixed,
Batman versus Superman. Now, I originally didn't fancy seeing this. The trailers looked pretty damn awful. I did not like Man of Steel. I thought it was stupid. I thought as an origin film goes, when your origin film is Superman turns up, fights 10 other superpowered people, other Kryptonians, Zod, and a doomsday device, it's a little bit different from when Thor turned up and fought a robot in a town. So I was a bit like, for an origin, I thought it was too much. So I was not on board with New Superman. I was a little bit apprehensive of the whole Batfleck because, I don't know, Ben Affleck hasn't been one of my favourites. And I knew nothing about the Gal Gadot, however you pronounce her name, who was playing Wonder Woman. As it turned out, she was barely in the movie, so I didn't really have to worry about her acting or her portrayal of Wonder Woman. Turns out that Superman was barely in the film because he decided to go up a mountain and angst about his dead father he wants to have hallucinations in front of. But Ben Affleck turned out to be awesome as Batfleck. This review is going to be spoiler-full, in fact. I mean, I'm letting Zoe spoil you, so you know that I'm going to come with all the spoilers.
Spoiler-filled.
Yeah, so basically, I disliked the movie a lot, but Luke, I did not dislike it a lot.
Well, I was a bit apprehensive of Ben Affleck being Batman as well. I mean, he didn't do very well in Daredevil. Which is where he pretty much everyone kind of thought he would suck massively. But he did a really, really good Batman. I'm not sure how good a Bruce Wayne he did, but the Batman was fantastic. Man of Steel I actually quite liked a lot more than Lizzie. The cuts in the scenes were quite choppy, but overall I thought it was a decent movie. Certainly the best Superman film that we've seen for a while. And yeah, I actually didn't mind the film. There were some really obvious problems with it. but I honestly think that there are some good parts in it as well.
So we'll basically go from it through beginning kind of to end section, and I'll let Luke kind of correct me on the things that I was sitting there going, oh my god, this is awful. So the film starts off and we get the millionth version of Bruce Wayne's an orphan, and I'm like, you know what, everyone by now knows that they get shot. Like, I'm done with this, we're over this, can we move on? But then we do get awesome sequence of Bruce Wayne rushing through the streets. You get to see all the calamity that was caused by Superman, and that's one of the things that really annoyed me about Man of Steel. It was literally like, and everybody dies and this entire city is destroyed and let's just break everything and yay, Superman. And I'm like, well, the thousands of dead people and all the broken buildings. So I did get that, like, yeah, if I was Batman, I'd be a bit miffed if, like, you know, Alien turns up going, oh, I wear a cape too and I'm going to smash all your buildings. So, you know, interesting start. And then nothing. It was an hour and a half until they fought. And in that hour and a half, there was, I'm so quirky, I'm going to stand in the bath. And then there was like, I'm Bruce Wayne, apparently now a spy. Oh, this is Wonder Woman, also apparently a spy. We're going to look at each other in ballrooms and walk past each other and do spy stuff. Woo. I can't even remember where Superman was. I think this point he was like, oh no, I'm sad, I'll angst on a mountain. Like, for an hour and a half. And then they had, like, Lex Luthor, who thought he was the Joker, who was actually, like, Alex Luthor, going, coming there to your face. And, like, it's like, I actually kind of liked him, because at least he was fun to watch. I mean, but his motivations were pointless. Like, that whole, like, oh, Bruce Wayne, me, like, Superman or whatever. Oh, isn't it so funny, Clark Kent and Bruce Wayne? I'm like, why? Why would a millionaire and a reporter give a flying monkeys about each other? And it was like, yeah. And the whole like, oh no, Superman possibly killed people by shooting them with guns. Yeah, because that's happened ever. No one's going to believe that. I really thought they were setting up like this god complex that Superman has, and then he was going to court, and I thought I'd get some really interesting courtroom drama ending in a climax, and I got absolutely sod all for an hour and a half. But what were you doing for that hour and a half while I was sitting there kind of going, anything? I'm bored.
Well, the beginning of the beginning of the film was how they tried to explain the film in the beginning was a lot of problems that people had initially with Man of Steel, in that he destroyed a lot of buildings, he destroyed a lot of people's homes, and he probably killed a lot of people trying to defend the Earth. He did defend the Earth, he did stop Zod and all his cronies, possibly in not a great way, but it's meant to be showing like Superman as being like a much younger Superman. He's not necessarily in control of his powers, he's not making necessarily the best decisions.
Break the dude's neck. I'm pretty sure that's not what he's supposed to do ever.
I know, but this is a different Superman, and this is a different Batman. You have to. I'm kind of taking it away from the comics and saying, look, this is not the comic book Superman. This is not the comic book Batman. These are completely different characters that are similar and have the same kind of backstory, but they have grown up different and they are different characters. When Batman's zooming through the city, kind of going, I need to protect my people because for some reason they kind of haven't left the building, even though they know something really terrible is going on. Yeah. I need to protect these people that are clearly unable to protect themselves.
Can't leave buildings. Yeah, okay, maybe Bruce Wayne should put more fire exits on his buildings.
Maybe
that was a problem.
Maybe. And when Ben Affleck was Batman and he was branding people, and that was pretty awesome. When he was like on the ceiling and like he was like this big black mass, and that looked really cool.
He was scary.
He was scary,
really imposing, and clearly unhinged. This is clearly later life Batman that's gone through some stuff.
Yeah, the policeman comes along. He's got his shotgun. He points it at the ceiling, fires off loads of shots, and he's like crawling and flipping along the ceiling, and it looks really kind of, oh my god, this guy is like really menacing. And then it kind of cuts, and you have the scene with Lois Lane being ridiculous and stupid, and she's kind of going, well, I'm going into a really dangerous zone with no real backup. And then I got captured, possibly because I know that Superman's going to save me. And then Superman does save her. All the people are killed. Superman's blamed because he really uses bullets. And
it just didn't hold up at all. It didn't hold up.
That didn't hold up. And this is one of my problems with the Batman. The Ben Affleck Batman, the violence, beating up villains kind of thing.
Actually doing something.
Really good. He looks hench. He looks scary.
Oh my god, totally like, you've been working out, Ben Affleck.
Yeah. If he's meant to be a kind of Batman that scares the poop out of people and makes them kind of want to go, maybe I don't want to go out and like rob that old lady because I might...
Yeah, I might get bat-branded.
Yeah, I might get bat-branded. I might have something really terrible happen to me. That Batman's really good. The other side of Batman that a lot of movies don't really go on about too much, kind of is the detective side of him, which is more kind of Bruce Wayne-y. And
yeah, they forget about the whole that he's like meant to be the world's greatest detective. Yeah. It's like, I'm not entirely sure like if Sherlock Holmes would throw cars at people to solve mysteries. I'm like, a Batman. And I know that clue might have been underneath that car, but did you really have to cause like a 16-car pileup and kill some people and smush things around the place? Ooh, great detective there.
Very destructive, not very detective. Which I'm not really happy with. Yeah. If he was really Batman, like from the comics, then he would have thought possibly Superman wouldn't use bullets.
Yeah, possibly. He would have worked that out. He probably also would have worked out that like Clark Kent was Superman, because if you're the world's frigging greatest detective, a pair of glasses are not going to be like, oh, I can't see past glasses, because
there's also the other problem of like he probably would have worked out that Superman had been saving a lot of people from that point, so he probably would have looked and kind of go, well, there's a lot more evidence to say that Superman's actually a decent guy rather than this psycho that random people are really good. There's evidence towards, people talking against. Maybe I should go for the evidence towards. But they're trying to sell Batman as a kind of an unhinged character.
He came across as unhinged.
He's really unhinged. As Batman and Bruce Wayne. He didn't really play Bruce Wayne very much at all. He just kind of was, even when he was playing Bruce Wayne, like going to the party with like the spy stuff, he was only really there as Batman. He wasn't really there as like Bruce Wayne at all. And that was another one of my problems with him.
Yeah, I mean, the actual motivation of why they wanted to fight each other was so randomly weak and thrown together. It's 1% that you will destroy us all. you're bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the motivation. I mean, it was quite cool when the Batmobile smooshed into him and he was like, oh dear, that's not good. And I was like, oh, is there going to be a fight? Oh no, do you bleed? Fly away. He's like, okay, we will get a fight. We will get a fight. So all this silly exposition and random posturing and stuff, they do eventually get to the thing you wanted to see, which was Batman versus Superman, and Batman totally won the fight. I do think that Superman's major weakness, and one of the reasons that he couldn't fight as well, is because Lois Lane kept falling off buildings and ending up in puddles. And I think
captured.
Yeah, so I think Superman could have done more if it wasn't for Lois Lane being absolutely useless. The shoehorning in of the other Justice Leagues. I'm not a DC girl, I'm a Marvel girl. Luke is more DC than my Marvel. So there's a lot of stuff with this film that I didn't get what was going on. But I've watched Teen Titans, I've watched the CW version of The Flash. I was actually quite excited by seeing Aquaman because I like Jason Momoa.
Young Justice was good.
Young Justice, the animated series was good, So first you see Aquaman and he's like, I'm underwater. L'Oreal. And I was a bit like, okay.
The camera kind of stays on him for a very long time before he kind of goes, what's going on? Are you looking at? Well, stop that.
and then you get Cyborg. It's like, well, okay, so it's a little tiny clip about this much of the screen. There you go, and in that, Cyborg's created science. And then you see the Flash. You're like, oh, why is his hair so long? The Flash wouldn't have long hair. He can't run like that. Oh, at the end, that's okay. Well, that's it. That's the Justice League setup. Good. We're great. We're gonna rival MCU now. And I'm like, that's not story development. I hate you.
Yeah. My problem with that particular section is really so it was Alex Luthor that both discovered all of these metahumans that Batman was afraid of 6 months ago and had not found, but also invented all the symbols and named them because all the. Oh
yeah, I never thought of that. Why is Alex Luthor naming them?
And giving them all their symbols.
Yeah.
Yeah, weird.
Yeah. Oh god, this film gets worse. It gets worse.
Well, not worse. I mean.
Missed opportunities. So much padding. I mean, we were in there 2.5 hours, hour and a half before they even go more smush. Then some more. Absolutely pointlessness.
Here's something I would have liked with Cyborg. If, say, Cyborg's dad was one of the scientists that was working in the building that Bruce Wayne owned, and then because of the destruction, his son got hurt, and then he managed to find, which is what he uses the mother box to kind of resurrect him by binding him with the laws of technology, which is why he becomes Cyborg. If they'd just kind of shown that in the film as opposed to a YouTube clip, that would have explained that.
And I've also just thought of a great thing for Aquaman. Okay, in Man of Steel, Doomsday Machine in the Indian Ocean, absolutely drilling through the earth, messing up the ocean, and Aquaman, I think he'd get miffed. He'd be like, oh my goodness, what the hell's going on? Why is someone drilling through one of my oceans? They could have done so much with that. And then we have the introduction of Wonder Woman, and you know what? She didn't look bad.
She's hot.
She's a bit skinny, hot. But I think that have so many actresses. But
not the person I would have cast for an Amazon.
Yeah.
But I mean, from the role that she took and the words that she was given, the small amount that she was given, she was pretty cool in the positions.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of would have preferred maybe Catwoman in the position of person that steals stuff.
Yeah, it would have been more sensical.
Wonder Woman's more of a kind of, well, I believe in justice and I'm
switching things from what I'm
a little murderous, but not really because my friends tell me it's a bad thing.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
So, and then you get to the first bit that really made me sit in the cinema, and I went, I have no idea what's going on. Absolutely no clue. I've watched Batman the Animated Series. I've only read very limited Batman comics. I've read the Gotham City Sirens because, well, I have a crush on Catwoman. I've read Catwoman stuff because I like Catwoman. I've read Hush and Heart of Hush because I really like Catwoman. And so I've got a bit of a bias with my DC. Most of my knowledge comes from the Arrow, the Flash, and the Legends of Tomorrow TV shows, the old Batman movies, Batman animated series, Batman Beyond, all those, all great shows. But I went into this bit, and I'm watching this movie in which nothing is happening, and then all of a sudden, Batman in boots and no cape gets out in the desert. You're like, why are you in the desert? And then he opens a box. He's like, oh no! And then some soldiers go, ha ha ha! And then they go out. And then insect people go, and I'm like, what's going on now? And then he's underground going, oh, I'm all chained up. And Superman's, ha ha, laser beams, ha, who die now. And I'm like, what? And then he wakes up and it's like, what is the Stargate? It's a time portal. Quick, save Lois. And then he wakes up again. And I'm like, what? What? Like, I love the MCU, but I've not read Iron Man or Guardians of the Galaxy. But even when they did like preluding to other things and Easter eggs and stuff, like I've kind of got the excitement and I've like, you know, but it's never broken up the story. I've never sat in any of those films going, I don't know what just happened. That's like 15 minutes of cinema time where I sat there going, Bruce Wayne now has visions? Like, but that's never, it made no sense. And this is what I think, because after the film I had to go to Luke and kind of go, can you explain the insect people in the desert and why Superman is laser beaming things and who was in that portal?
I did have an explanation, though I had to struggle for it myself, if I'm being honest. When I saw the desert section, Batman all dressed up in his khakis and everything like that, running through, finding like a delivery or something like that, a box, some sort of
someone's transporting something in a box, and
something
like,
important
box.
that he wanted. He came down and he had troops with him. They all kind of it looked like some sort of resistance in like a desert world, and he beat them up. They kind of had Superman symbols on the shoulders.
I totally missed that. I was too busy going, where's your cape? Where have you gone from Gotham and Metropolis? Also, why Gotham and Metropolis across a bay? Like, literally.
They're quite far away from each other normally.
You could see them across a bay.
Yeah. But, he beat off all these people and managed to get in and then find out that there's nothing in there and then come out, and then there was the Neo-Demons from Darkseid and more troops from that seemed to be Superman corpse kind of thing, and then was captured. My take on that is that the Neo-Demons are Darkseid stuff, and the Superman corps, kind of the military, are from Injustice. So I'm guessing at some point Darkseid and Superman kind of team up, or Darkseid's got control of Superman or something like that. But it feels really, really, really Injustice, where Superman's got off the deep end. Terrible things have happened. He's a tyrannical leader, and Batman's trying to kind of stop him.
So yeah, if you haven't read the comics, you would not be excited like all the DC fans at this like hinting at Injustice happening. And I was like, I don't even know what that is, but I'm sure I would be excited for it if it made any sense. So the only thing now is to finally talk about the payoff of the film, really, and the actual final battle.
The explanation as to why Batman was having the visions.
I just thought he was post-traumatic stress future flashes.
Well, he shouldn't have had the visions if they're like tellings of the future, because he's never been able to tell the future. My guess is that because Flash was going back in time, who was the person, it wasn't all that obvious when he was coming through.
I didn't realise it was Flash. He didn't look like he had a Flash suit, but I was like, oh, look at the atom.
It looked like almost a robotic suit, but it did have the symbol on his chest.
Yeah, kind of was too busy being confused.
Yeah, but when the Flash goes back through time, there is kind of bleed off of like different times and things like that. So I'm guessing that the Flash was trying to talk to Bruce in the past, but because he'd gone through time like a bullet, he kind of took images of the future with him, and then Batman was seeing some of the future, is what I'm guessing. And then he kind of wakes up. It was weird that he had the flash bit and then kind of went, I was sleeping. It didn't show at any point that he fell asleep during that.
So Flash TV show, so much better. They deal with the time travel stuff so much better. Makes more sense. But okay, so we get to the bit we've all been waiting for: actual Batman versus Superman. And the biggest problem with this scene is the fact that we all know it's fudging Doomsday, because the trailer went, guess who's in this movie? I've never read any of this stuff, and I knew it was Doomsday. I knew it from hanging around people who knew it. I knew it from the cartoons, and I was just like, Doomsday's going to be in this. Well, if Doomsday's going to be in this, and I had to turn around and go, isn't that the dude that kills Superman? Is this what's going to happen at the end of this? Is he going to die?
To which I replied, I really hope not, because that'd be fucking stupid.
Yes. And guess what? Yeah, you were right. So the final battle, I've got to hand it to them. Like, when they started actually having fights, like the Batman versus Superman initial fight, when it's just the two of them fighting in what looks like an abandoned toilet. I don't know. It's just like everything's ceramics and sinks and water.
It's dark. It's Gotham. There's like dramatic architecture, and it's raining.
Yeah. Oh, so basically, Superman's mum's kidnapped. Batman's being all like, "Oh, better be bad." They finally have their battle. It's pretty awesome. Batman has all the tricks, all the knowledge. It's great. He's doing really well. Superman's getting a few good punches in, and like, you know, actually that fight, I was invested in that fight. I was like, yeah, like this is good. I'm enjoying this. And then it gets to the Martha. Like, I'm gonna look stupid for life for doing this, but it's just like. So basically, they decide not to fight each other because both their mums are called Martha.
Which I knew it, but I didn't know it. Kind of, I never made the connection.
So it's like, oh
yeah. But that's not really a reason for them to be friends. It's more of a kind of, that's
your mum's Martha, my mum's Martha. Let's be best friends. Can you go save my mum for me? Because, I don't know, Lois has fallen off another building. So at this point, I'm pretty sure she got pushed off another building. And they do
something.
So they do save Martha, and then they get to the final fight, and Doomsday turns up, and that was a good fight. I really did enjoy it, actually. There was a lot of good to it. I did think that when Wonder Woman finally turned up in Ola Regale, and it was all like dum-dum-dum, dramatic music, and she's like, yeah, I'm going to stab things. I was like, I like this. This woman I can get down with. The score was good.
Oh, the score was gorgeous. I suppose my only real problem was that Wonder Woman turned up, and Superman said, "Is she with you?" And then Batman, "No, I thought she was with you, but Bruce, you sent her a mail, right? And like a proper email, kind of, please come help us.
Yeah.
We desperately need
you
your help.
You saw that she was about to get on a plane.
Yeah, she was going to leave.
Checks her emails. It's like, oh, Bruce Wayne has emailed me. Oh, they're going to go fight Doomsday. I better go back.
And then she must be thinking kind of...
She is with you.
Yeah,
you spent time with her during this film.
Why am I here?
It's like, makes no sense. So
but Wonder Woman was really cool.
Yeah.
She was really cool.
And then we've got Lois on the other hand. So after the big Martha battle with like Batman's like Kryptonian spear, she's thrown it down a toilet.
This will hurt my boyfriend.
And then this should have been the perfect segue for like you know, Aquaman to kind of go, ooh, I kept waiting, he's going to come up and he's going to throw the spear back. No, so Lois jumps in the puddle after it.
It doesn't even need to show up. If they just showed like this shadow in the water and then suddenly the spear shoots out and then I suppose Superman would have to catch it because they've decided that Superman has to die in this particular film. If Superman caught it, they went, oh, who was that? And then kind of, and then kind of, oh, that was Aquaman, or something like that.
Yeah, it would have been great. But no, so Lois jumps in, rubble lands on top of her, and they're having a big old fight with Doomsday. Oh my goodness, Doomsday! Oh, Lois. My Lois senses are tingling. I think she's fallen down the drain. Quick, goodbye!
I have most of my senses attuned to saving Lois, but trying to save my mum, who apparently I really love, but won't call mum. I will need to call Martha. I can't tell where she is. So there's quite a few plot holes in the film. There's quite a few.
Oh, anything better could have been done at the ending. The whole like Superman's gimpy fly.
This is really poisoning me. If only I gave it to Batman or Wonder Woman.
And it's like, so the big noble sacrifice just seemed dumb because they could have avoided it, and I didn't like Superman because I just didn't. I kind of like left the film kind of going, I don't know what happened. That was far too long. Everything was stupid, and I hate Superman some more.
What if Batman rode on, because he had disappeared a little bit, you know, if he had been riding on his like bat plane, flew in and like then stabbed Doomsday with the spear. Doomsday wasn't quite dead yet, was about to stab Batman, but Superman then jumped in the way to save Batman.
Yeah, a big heroic death to solidify their love of Martha mums. Yeah, they could have like, you know, like this, you know,
the Martha fan club,
but like it didn't, and it was awful.
Yeah. Well, I still maintain that the fights are really good. The music's really good. There are some very epic scenes. There are some good scenes.
When they do fight, it's good. Well, shame they only do it twice in 2.5 hours.
It's a shame that one of the clever bits in it was like in the court case when
the grandma's peach tea.
Grandma's peach tea when she turns that around, and then because she makes reference to it in earlier in the film when she's talking to Alex or Lex, and that was really cool. I really like that. It's a shame that
they didn't anything intelligent they started, they got rid of it, and then it just turned into a mess, basically.
Good ideas, unfortunately, not allowed to bloom into something great.
I suppose the best way to end one of these is basically to rate the film. I feel like is a safe way, and I'm definitely in a good old 4 out of 10 for this movie.
Personally, I would I'm torn between 5 out of 10 and 6 out of 10. I think.
Oh, you think it's a 5? Maybe I'll put it down to a 3 out of 10. It was really boring.
I think it's at least a 5. From the how it looked beautiful.
So what would you give it? Come on, give it your score.
I'm gonna say 5, but a very watchable, a high 5 for me, a very high 5.
Well, it's just a 4, really. It's not even a halfway good film, but it's not absolutely toilet bowl-y like Lois Lane in that film.
Yeah.
I think that's about as much as we can say on it for now. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Again, follow me on the Let Zoe Spoil You Tumblr, blog, at Lone Dreamer Yowie, Twitter. Hand over to J Retro.
Yes, Luke at J Retro. I'm going to do more reviews, but more of the kind of Japanese retro stuff. Thank you, Zoe. Thank you, Lizzie, for allowing me to be on this video. It was a lot of fun, and hope we do it again.
Awesome. Okay, so signing off. Ciao.